Welcome to the MAT Customization Overview and Optional Step 16. Define and customize the MAT Graphical User Interface or GUI video. After a successful installation, you have Mainframe Application Tuner or MAT and its Performance Management Assistant or PMA component installed on your site. You perform separate customization procedures for MAT and PMA. The MAT customization includes the following stages. 1. Mandatory customization, steps 1 through 8. 2. Optional customization, steps 9 through 15 to configure subsystems. 3. Optional installation and configuration of the MAT Graphic User Interface. And 4. Optional configuration of the MAT database and REST API. In this video, we'll focus on the optional installation and configuration of the MAT Graphic User Interface or GUI. The MAT customization application is called trcust. To run the trcust application, use the trcust member that you can find in the library shown here. You define the MAT high-level qualifier during the installation of MAT. For example, if your MAT high-level qualifier is apm.qett.mat 12reg, you can start trcust by executing the command ext apm.qett.mat 12reg.ceescls 0 trcust from the ISPF interface. When started, trcust prompts you to provide a high-level qualifier for all MAT libraries that will be created during the MAT customization process. We recommend that you use the same high-level qualifier that you define for MAT during the installation, in this case, apm.qett.mat12reg. Press Enter to continue. Issue the S-line command to resume MAT customization. The list of MAT customization steps shows the completion status of each step. Successfully completed steps will be marked with the plus sign. Optional customization steps are marked with the flag O. For optional customization steps, you do not have to preserve the order of step execution, with the exception of Step 13, which requires that Step 11 is already completed. Step 16. MAT Graphical User Interface or GUI. In this step, you deploy and configure the MAT GUI software, which enables you to access the core MAT functionality from a user-friendly web browser interface. MAT Graphical User Interface or GUI prerequisites. The MAT GUI is Java-based software that runs on Apache Tomcat server. Before you install the MAT GUI, ensure that your site meets the following prerequisites. Java 8. 64-bit is installed on your system. Apache Tomcat Server version 8.5 or later is installed and configured. Move the cursor to Step 16 and issue the S-line command. Type Yes to proceed with the MAT GUI configuration. Review and update, if necessary, the details of your Java installation, the version and the Java path. F3 to proceed. Specify the details of the MAT GUI lock job that allocates and mounts the file system for the MAT GUI web server instance. Review the contents of the MAT GUI lock JCL and submit the job. Provide the path to the directory where Apache Tomcat is installed and the server directory where MAT will copy the customized components of the Apache Tomcat software. Then specify whether you want MAT to configure the Tomcat server instance for you. Provide the port number to be used for accessing the GUI and the key store details for secure access. You can also configure security later. Specify the details of the MAT GDPLI job that deploys the MAT web server components to the file system that you allocated before. Review the contents of the MAT GDPLI-JCL and submit the job. MAT recommends that you configure a secure HTTPS connection if you plan to use the GUI outside a private network. Specify the details of the ZFS repository where you want MAT to store the GUI-enabled XML files with measurements. Use the defaults if uncertain. Also, provide the details of the data alloc job that allocates, initializes, and mounts the MAT XML repository file system and creates the starting directory within it. Review the contents of the data alloc JCL and submit the job. Specify whether you want the XML repository ZFS files to be remounted after a system IPL. We specify no at this time. Specify the details of the matconf job that sets up and saves the collected parameters in the GUI parm member and creates a config file in the mat GUI web application inside the specified Tomcat server on USS. Review the contents of the matconf JCL and submit the job. Specify the details of the matg server JCL that starts the mat web server. The mat web server facilitates the operation of the mat GUI. Review the contents of the matg server JCL and type N to save the member. Add the mat web server startup procedure matg server to your proc lib library. Review the recommendations on applying maintenance to the mat web server and the GUI software. MAT customization step 16 is now successfully completed. Now you can start the web server and launch the MAT GUI in your web browser. Access the MAT GUI via the URL that includes the protocol type, HTTP or HTTPS, the base path, as defined for your Apache Tomcat server, port number, as defined in Customization Step 16, and the /mat12/mat postfix, for example, http yourdomain.com 51229 mat12mat. To log in, use your mainframe user ID and password. For quick orientation in the MAT GUI, use the built-in cheat sheets that guide you through the key features. To verify the GUI installation, you can also invoke a sample monitor. For example, the Tune COB01 demo job that you compiled and used for the Installation Verification Procedure, IVP. Right-click on the monitor profile and invoke the measurement, then submit the demo COBOL job. When the measurement completes, use the GUI to review and analyze the measurement results in the same way as you would do it in the ISPF interface. The installation and configuration of the MAT Graphical User Interface, GUI, is now completed. For more information and feedback, visit techdocs.broadcom.com/mat.